Hi, everybody. I'm Stephen Horvath, and I'm representing this pink mob over here. Make some noise, please. And yeah, I work for Luxo, and I'm the team lead of the browser extension project that we have called the Universal Profile Extension. And Luxo is an Ethereum Layer 1 compatible blockchain started by Fabian Vogelstelle and Marjorie Hernandez. You are probably familiar with some of Fabian's work and have probably used some of it. Here are some of the standards that he created and the technology. And Marjorie is a fashion expert. She has several recognitions, including most recently, she was named as one of the 50 most important Germans in fashion. And they came together and created something new. They created a blockchain that focuses and targets the creative economy. What is the creative economy? The creative economy is all about influencers and musicians and artists and writers, basically anyone creating something new, creative, innovative. And it's all about everybody who uses those things, which is basically everybody. Blockchain has some history of being very biased toward finance and toward anonymity, and those things are very important, but they're not the only thing that blockchain can do. If we look out in the world, people are social. They have identities. They want to show off their identity. They want to get people to know them in different ways. So if we want to make blockchain more usable, if we want to have more adoption on blockchain, we have to look at what are people doing already? What are they able to do and what are they not able to do? These are my parents. Let's start with what they're not able to do. So they're not able to use most crypto wallets. They have to they're going to try to attempt to a DApp. They're going to choose which wallet out of the many presented. They have to figure out what they are. They have to add that to their browser, choose a password, figure out what the heck a seed phrase is, create a seed phrase, confirm the seed phrase, figure out where to store the seed phrase, where no one can find it but themselves. Then they're presented with gas. What is gas? Where do you buy gas? Register for a centralized exchange. Okay, now they have to send an ID, and they have to do a face scan and send it to, maybe they don't even know where the geography of the exchange is, where they're sending this information to. Then they can buy some ETH, figure out what their account number is, link their account. Finally, they can transfer ETH to their wallet, and now they can use it. Blah. It's so much work, and you can see why. I mean, not just people in my parents' generation, but people who are my friends in my generation. They're very technical people, but they get stuck at step 3. And I go and I talk with them about blockchain and everything that it can do, but they're not able to see the power of it. So, what can normal people do? What can my parents do? They can post on social media. They can install an app on their phone. They can very easily sign up for a Web 2 account that's not out of their range. They can walk into a cell phone store and they can roughly figure out what kind of data plan that they need. They might not know what a gigabyte is, but they know that if they're just sending emails, they probably just need a little bit of data. If they're watching a bunch of videos, they need something more. So Luxo was created to solve a lot of these usability problems. And the main thing that we're offering are our standards. So today I'm going to show you the power of the Luxo standards, what you as decentralized application developers can do, how you can use these, and I'm going to show it through the product that I've been working on and my team has been building for the last months, which is the Universal Profile Extension. So, without further ado, here it is. This is the Universal Profile Extension. You may notice something right away, that you don't see tokens on the main page. That's because the Universal Profile Extension is not a wallet. It's about profiles. Nothing wrong about tokens, and actually, the finance part is important, it's just not the only thing. And I'll talk a little bit later about some new standards that we have that actually improve the finance aspect also. But the extension that we offer is profile-centric, not token-centric. An account on Luxo is more than just a long hexadecimal string. An account on Luxo has information about your name, it has your bio, has an avatar or a profile picture. It has all of these things, so an account on Luxo comes alive. Here you can see a user, she's got 3 different profiles. On the left, she's got her personal profile, so you can see she's got, she talks about her fashion, she's interested in music, and she's a traveler, she's got her profile picture. In the middle, this is her business profile. So she's involved with a DAO, and she's an architect, and she does her design work. And then on the right, this is her investment account. And here, she decides to stay completely anonymous. She's got an avatar, she doesn't reveal her real name. And none of these accounts are able to be traced to each other. The way that we do this is through our standards. And one of the standards that we have allows you to actually attach metadata to your account. And you can see here, there are a lot of different fields. Like I was saying, there's the name and the avatar and some tags. You can attach unlimited metadata to your account. And the ability to do this opens up a huge array of possibilities. So one of the really powerful standards that we have is what we call our key manager. And this allows DApps to actually request control of various parts of the profile or the account in very fine-grained ways. And you can think of this kind of like when you install an app on your phone, and the app wants to access your photos or access your contact list. The app actually has to ask permission for you. And then you can decide, do you want to give that app permission to your photos or your contact list if you trust it? If you don't, you might not be able to get the photo functionality in there, but you know that you're safe. And if you do, then you can allow it to happen. So we're doing the same thing, however, we're doing it on-chain. And you can see here, this is what the extension looks like. And you can see that there are a number of different DApps in here. So we've got a music app, we've got a DAO, we've got a recovery service, we've got the extension itself. And through the key manager, you can create a controller. Each of these controllers has different permissions that it can request. So here you can see some different permissions. The DApp can change the user's profile data. It can sign on behalf of the user. It can encrypt or decrypt messages on behalf of the user. It can transfer tokens on behalf of the user, or the native token, Lux. It can deploy smart contracts on behalf of the user. And it can even add additional controllers or edit these permissions itself, and more. Now, there are a lot of different use cases that this opens up. So you can imagine a music or a game DApp that maybe has application data, maybe like a playlist or a configuration. These can actually be associated directly on the user's profile, and permissions can be granted in a way that allows it to only change the keys that are relevant to the DApp itself, not be able to change the user's name. So those can be requested too. Multiple devices. So in the Ethereum world, we take seed phrases, and if we have a wallet on multiple devices, we're pasting around these seed phrases everywhere. Well, if one of those devices ends up getting compromised and your seed phrase gets lost, then you basically lose access everywhere. But here, we can actually give a different device. Each device can have its own controller. And by default, that's how the extension works. It'll give, anytime you install it on a new device, it gets its own controller. And therefore, if one of the devices ends up getting lost, you can use another device to revoke access from that first one. Account recovery. So you can allow a third party, either a friend or a service, if you get locked out of your account, to give you access back to it again. We have this concept of vaults. So you can kind of think about this as like if you're in a family and you've got a child and you want to be able to give a certain amount of tokens or a certain type of token to your child for an education platform or a game, you can grant your child access to this without having them access your entire set of funds. DAO management. So in a DAO, there are different types of users. You can have a marketing manager, for example, that is able to change the profile data of the DAO that maybe feeds into the website, or a treasury manager that is able to only transfer tokens or only certain types of tokens. Or you can have an admin that's able to grant new users access or restrict their access. So like I said before, gas is probably one of the biggest pieces of friction in the blockchain world. And like I said, it's something where even very smart people, anyone who's basically not a geek has trouble here. So we've really looked at this, and the way that we fix this at Luxo is through what we call our transaction relayer. And here you can see a view of our DApp. You can kind of think of this as like if you go into a cell phone shop and you need a data plan for your phone. Yeah, you get a monthly quota of gas. If you use that gas before the month is over, you have to wait until the next month for it to reset, or you can top it up in the meantime. So we do the same thing, but with gas. So we take the pain out of that. Users are still signing their transactions in the extension itself, but the transactions are run through the relayer. And you can pay for that with a credit card or with crypto, various ways. And so we've actually created a standard with this. Like you see, we have our own relayer, but we actually invite you as developers to come and compete with us. By having diversity, it actually improves the ecosystem and it gives users choice. There are a lot of different types of models, and there's a lot of room in business models for how somebody could build a relayer. So this is a really great opportunity if somebody wants to try this. And actually, one of our team members, we'll be having a meetup tomorrow in Berlin at our office, and one of our team members will be giving a talk. Callum, raise your hand tomorrow. So if you want to come and learn how to do that, come and check it out. And you can see the extension actually builds natively support for the relayer. So you can see there's the quota mark, the quota amount in there. You can see exactly how much quota you have left. And you can see the drop-down box right above the bar allows the user to select whatever relayer they want. And the DApp can add additional relayers if they like. Digital assets get an upgrade. So this is what I was talking about before. So ERC20 is super widespread. That's what everybody is using, but it has a lot of limitations. And so we've been looking at these limitations about what else can be possible. How can we make this a better experience? So as you probably all know, one of the biggest pieces of friction is if you send your token to an invalid address by accident. So this happens all the time. You think you're on Polygon, but you're actually on Ethereum. You've got an Ethereum address. You try to send some tokens there, but you're actually on Polygon, and boom, your tokens are lost forever. This is happening all the time. And I know whenever I'm sending any significant amount, I'm always double, triple, quadruple checking, and I still end up sweating and feeling nervous about sending something. So at Luxo, what we have is what we call the universal receiver. And an account can be marked as a universal receiver. And then if you try to send a token to an account that's not marked as a universal receiver, it's actually prevented on-chain. You can see here the error that you see in the extension when this happens. You can actually override this. So for people who know what they're doing, maybe it's a normal account, but they know what they're doing, you can override that. But that's actually validated on-chain. You have to say that you forced the transaction in order to do that. Another ability is the ability to add unlimited metadata to both tokens and NFTs. And if you've ever developed a DApp that has NFTs or tokens and try to deal with metadata, you know this is a nightmare right now. You always have to rely on a third party to provide this data. Sometimes the third parties are out of sync. You never know who to ask, where to get the right data. It's very confusing. So here on Luxo, everything is on chain and everything is associated with the asset itself. And therefore, if you're a token, if you have your own token or you create an NFT and you want to change some of that data, you just change it on chain and it's updated everywhere. And then lastly, there is what we call a token hook. So in the Ethereum world, if you receive a token, you usually have to rely on a third-party service to do some sort of polling. There can be mistakes. It's a pretty clunky experience. But what we have is what we call a token hook. So what that means is basically every time a token is either sent or received, both the sender or the receiver receives an event to their account. And this first of all, adds a way better user experience. So you can have notifications whenever you receive something, but it also has the ability to programmatically respond to receiving a token. So you could do something like, if you receive a token from a known address, you can forward some % of that token over to a third address, like paying automatic tax payments or paying a contractor, something like that. You can also do something where if you receive a token from an unknown address, you can decline to receive that transaction so it never ends up in your wallet. So you're preventing scam or spam tokens. And lastly, I want to talk about a couple of DApps that are currently building on Luxo and what they're doing. So this is Universal Page. And basically, Universal Page is an all-in-one NFT marketplace. And it empowers creators to be able to have their own landing page in order to showcase their work. So and it does three things. It gives you a personal universal page with your own link to show off your NFTs. You can sell NFTs through their platform, and you can do drops here as well. If you have a collection, you can create an account just for your collection, and you can host that right here very easily. And then the second one is Upturn. And what these guys are doing is basically, it's like a loyalty program, but on chain. So basically, you can think of it as if you have, if you go to your local coffee shop and you buy 10 coffees, you get a little card. When you get your 10th coffee, you get a free coffee. This is the on-chain version of that. So basically, what they're doing is if you go to some number of events, or you share some music, on social media, then you can actually get rewarded with tokens. So they're using our token standards in order to do this. And this talk was actually very good timing, because for the last weeks, our team has been really working hard to launch our beta, and it just got released yesterday. You can actually go on CoinDesk, and you can see there's an article written about us. Go and check it out. Everything that you've seen here is from the beta that you're working on. So you're seeing some brand new things here. So scan the QR code, give the extension a shot, and come in our Discord, let us know your experience, and come build with us.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Does anyone have any questions? We have a few minutes for that.
I mean, I have a little bit to add. I mean, Fabian here, I'm actually the founder of Luxo. This is basically a whole new account system, a smart contract-based account system. This is the alternative account abstraction, if you will. And it's a standard-based account abstraction. That means it works everywhere, on every chain, but obviously it will be on Luxo first, because we're having all the channels around it. But it really will change the UX problems that we see in the space. You know, I mean, like the talk before, I mean, I wondered that there was not UX as one of the issues talked about, you know, of adoption. I think that's the main actually issue of everything. And we believe we solved that. You know, try out the browser extension and see how easy it is, and you don't need to get Lux or test Lux or anything. You just click through and you have your blockchain account and you can go and fly. And this will be launching on mainnet within the next few weeks, and then things start to get very, very different in blockchain.
Thank you. Any further questions? Thank you so much, Stephen, for the great presentation.
Thank you very much.